Good morning, afternoon, definitely morning here. I'm Matt Allen from CrowdComms. Welcome to Event Advice. Slightly different today because normally we're joined by Will Custard, but today we are in Georgia, near Atlanta, in our new office in Swanee, and we are joined by our SVP Americas, Brad Langley. So Brad, welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Very excited to be here and excited to welcome everyone to CrowdComms Americas out of Swanee, Georgia. We're really excited to be here and offer a new, fresh offering to all the customers located in the United States.
Yeah, so it's obviously a big market, but have you seen any, or what do you see as the differences between the US and the UK market? We're a UK business, we're founded in the UK, but we've been doing events in the US for a long time. But do you see any subtleties, any differences in the two markets?
Well, it's a really good point, Matt, because it's interesting. First and foremost, CrowdComms is not new. CrowdComms has been established since 2012 in the UK. So very highly reliable, proven technology. But now when it comes to the US market, first and foremost, I think there are more similarities than there are differences. Today's customers are looking for great tech that helps them connect with their attendees and the events to drive business even better. So that's a definite similarity. Now, the size and scope of business in the US, I would say, is much larger. As a result of that, there are some subtle differences in how they purchase. It's a very experienced, mature buying market.
Yeah.
So they know their tech very well, and they are looking for really sophisticated technology solutions that also integrate very well with other technology software solutions. That said, just as there are differences between the East Coast and the West Coast in the Americas, I would say that same difference applies between the East Coast and Europe. But as far as similarities, they're looking for a very progressive, fresh, clean, branded technology solution that helps them enhance engagement with their attendees, that really brings the event to life early on in the process. An event's not just about when they arrive on site. No. It's about that experience from the get-go, when they first get that email invitation that's custom branded, all the way through the registration experience, through the seamless on-site check-in and attending the sessions.
It's very much for the end user, that's what people are looking for. But from the organizer, from the client basis, are they looking for, is it more of a tech-led solution, or are we looking for a service-led solution? What's the kind of focus you see in the US market?
The thing that I found is, the event tech market is different than your traditional SaaS environment. And a lot of people don't quite understand that. It's really software as a service.
Yeah.
I believe firmly that in this space, you can have great tech and still not do a good job.
Yeah.
You have to have the combination of great tech and great talented support people who empathize with what planners go through. Planners live in a world that is not just dynamic, it's chaotic. It's changing every minute leading up to an event. And as you get closer to the event, it changes even faster.
Yeah.
So what you need is agile technology that can respond to those changes, can equip them to service the attendees' needs, the events' needs, your stakeholders' needs in an instant, easily, intuitively. And that's where CrowdComms really shines. It delivers across all those key points.
It's interesting you use the word empathize because it's one of our core values, both internally and in terms of our client, is empathy. Having that appreciation for how something impacts someone else and how we can improve that experience for someone. So it's really interesting that that's at the core of it. It's the core of everything, isn't it?
That's why I'm also thrilled that we've got Tori, who's our operations head here in the States, located regionally to support the United States and the support team. Tori brings a wealth of background from both the agency as well as the technology side. That combination And the combination is really replicated across other CrowdComms talented people that support the programs. That's a key differentiator because they understand. I think until you've managed at events and you've been on site and you see people that are frustrated or standing in line, until you experience that and the pressure associated with that, you don't quite understand how important that support element is.
Yeah.
And that's what we really strive to do, is put ourselves in the shoes of the planner and the attendee and ask, how can we make that experience better all around?
And just to keep you guys on your toes, we've got Tom Dearden, who's been part of our UK team for 8 years now. Tom, is it 8 years? Somewhere.
Yes.
Give me a nod. 8 years. Just making sure that Britishness is still there. So you've got that front row seat for the American market in terms of event tech. What are the things that are really hot right now that the US buyers are looking for?
It's a very competitive market, no doubt. And I think we've made it even more competitive because we are bringing a fresh alternative. A lot of buyers in the US have felt for a long time, I don't have any option. Where am I going to go? The market is really consolidated in a couple of few players. That's not the case anymore. Because what happens through competition is you drive better value. And I believe buyers in the US right now, first and foremost, they're really tired of having to fit into event tech packages that they don't need.
Yeah.
So they're buying something, they're having to subscribe to something that they may only use 20% of.
Yeah.
With CrowdComms, we're bringing to the market a transparent pricing structure that allows them to purposely, intentionally buy what they're going to use and benefit from. That's number one. Number two, they're looking for fresh branded technology, not stale in the box. Yes, I'm going to clone this template, but it's still going to look exactly like my last event. CrowdComms delivers on a very fresh branded experience that really, from the start, says, hello, you're coming to my event. This is going to be incredible. You don't want to miss it. And then third is that service component is what buyers have been really clamoring for. They're like, I depend on this software as strongly as my operating system when it comes to events. And I need the support when I need it. I need good solid tech on the front end, but I also need good support. And that's why we like to say, you'll come for the tech, but you'll stay for the support.
Yeah.
And that's an important component of what we deliver is that reliability, the comfort, and the empathy that if something does go wrong at your event or changes at your event, we're there on the same side of the table with you to solve it and understand the immediacy that's required.
Yeah, it's interesting. On the pricing, so often we hear we're only using 10% of that software. It's like going in, very British thing here, but excuse me, sorry for the American market. When I'm going to talk baked beans for a second, but bear with me. It's like going into a breakfast place and wanting baked beans, but having to pay for the full breakfast. What you find with our technology is people can just buy baked beans on toast.
Yes.
But what you also find is they end up having the full breakfast long enough. But before too long, they might come in and integrate our badge printing technology and our on-site printing into their tech stack. They're then going to go, that app's pretty tasty. And it's like, well, yeah, the app's pretty good. Have you looked at our registration? Have you seen our lead capture technology? And they end up moving across the tech suite. But you can very much come in and say, this is our immediate requirement.
What I've found that buyers in the States are looking for is you have the professional event management teams, and they're in the technology day in and day out. They become power users. But there's this huge audience of occasional planners that need a software that is intuitive, easy to pick up, compliant, and can help them deliver a fully branded event that still meets their branding requirements. That's CrowdComms all over it.
Yeah.
Instead of taking 2 months to onboard our software,
Yeah.
I've already seen planners, Matt, that are introduced to our software, within 7 days they're producing an event, a beautiful event.
Yeah.
That's what today's market demands. It demands it because you've got to have a tool that is sophisticated enough for the full-time professional planner that's in it every day, uses it as their operating system, but also the occasional planner that may plan 1 or 2 events, but those events are critical. Never under
Why are they ignored? Because they come to us and they're like, we have our year license and we don't need it. We just want to do it for these 2 events. Can we have pricing? Why are they? So I always assumed that they were being neglected because they weren't deemed profitable enough. I always assumed that was the case. What I think I'm understanding is that the velocity of the onboarding makes it not viable for many businesses to be able to offer it for 2 events. They need them to be onboarded, like you say, over a long period of time to fully understand the complexities of the product before they can then activate it. With us, you can come in, with 2 hours of training, you're building your registration site, you're creating your badge, you've built an event app, all the libraries, images and everything stacks up and integrates. So is it more to do with the onboarding or is it that it's just not profitable enough so they just ignore them? What's the main reason?
It's both. It's both, depending on the situation. And the thing is, it's really easy to make ugly technology that's difficult to work in. It's really hard to make beautiful technology that's easy to learn and easy to use. And frankly, we all live on an Android or an Apple phone.
Yeah.
And if you were to hand me, or if I go out and buy a new phone, do I have 2 months to learn how to use that phone?
Yeah.
Not at all. I'm expected to be able to take a call, do an email, check my calendar all instantly. And that's beautiful design and technology. And that's what the event planners need at an affordable cost, not being shoved into a bundled package that requires a full year, requires an owner's registration commitment that puts the client basically at risk. Their budget is at risk.
Yeah.
Where with CrowdComms, we do give you the option to buy in a single event if you'd like, or receive discounts if you'd like to commit longer. So we give you options. And it's funny how many planners I speak to in the Americas that don't understand they have that option.
Yeah.
That's why once they are introduced to CrowdComms, they're like, wow, where have you been? We've needed this. And I'm like, we've been around since 2012. We are now here in the Americas.
So I see people, other tech companies, doesn't matter who, they're stating what they think people want, but they're not listening, okay? Because that planner who does 2 events, they want the exact same thing as the planner who does 1,000 events. They want a solution that looks like their brand, that they can implement quickly. They want to drive engagement around sessions. They want to facilitate conversations in the same way. They want to track that data and they want to push it into their decision-making technology, whatever that might be, their CRM. It is exactly the same as those big corporates.
Absolutely.
Trying to tell people it's different is a lie. Everyone wants to have excellence, don't they? That's what we all want. Yeah. We want things to be right and to be perfect. And it's pushing agendas that I find, pushing agendas is very ugly rather than just listening to what people want.
It's true. And it's people undervalue sometimes a small event versus a big event. And I will tell you, some of the most important events I've ever witnessed or attended have been very small, intimate events.
Yeah.
And to your point, they want it to be spot on when it comes to branding. They want all the same data and other ingredients around a powerhouse software, but applied to this more intimate event. Is a board meeting any less important? Should a board meeting have less branding? Should a board meeting have less reporting? No, it's all important. And today's planners are also looking to aggregate the sum of that data so they can have better visibility and manage those events in the same way with select nuances toward the audience of that event. I mean, if I invite you to my house for dinner Am I going to serve and cater to you one way versus the next night I invite someone else to my house for dinner as part of a different party? No, I want to make sure you enjoy the same hospitality, the same experience, regardless of how many people come. An event is really the sum of individuals that happen to be in the same location.
Yeah.
But you want to personalize the experience to that individual.
Well, to be honest with you, Brad, with this trip here, you've packed my diary. I mean, I'm moving around, I'm jumping around all over the place. I've got a big spreadsheet. It's a beautiful spreadsheet. But next time, maybe an app for me, and I'll get the alerts and notifications. I think I'll be here on time. I've been late a couple of times, you know. I'm back to the spreadsheet. What's Brad got me doing? Who am I meeting? What am I doing? So an app next time would be great. What do you see as our biggest opportunities for CrowdComms in the US?
I would say our biggest opportunity is really around just getting people first aware that they have options.
Yeah.
I would say as far as the sizes and types of events, that's unlimited. With CrowdComms, you can manage everything from your smallest event to what I like to call tier 1 events and everything in between. So when you look at what products people can really benefit from. Let's go right down the line. Like you said, one of the best mobile apps in the industry is right there. Personalization, gamification, engagement features, networking. We're coming out with an AI matchmaking tool that is spectacular. So those elements. You look at the registration tool, fully branded, clean, fresh, something that planners have really been asking for. Then you look at the full on-site capabilities, range of capabilities. If you haven't seen CrowdComms kiosks that serve as digital signage as well as badge printers, you're missing out. So as one customer that we recently showcased our products to said, and I absolutely believe, and when he said it, it really registered. He said, everyone else in this space generally does 1 to 2 things well. They either handle the registration well, but then they fail on the mobile app and they fail on the on-site. He said, or they're really good on-site, they're really good with the mobile app, but their registration's old and clunky. He said, CrowdComms is the first company that I've encountered that does all 3 things well.
Yeah.
And the beauty for planners is, number one, that's the benefit of using us for all 3 throughout the entire journey of that event. But you don't have to, because we also play well in the sandbox with others and integrate or allow for data transfer that's seamless to the planner and easy to the planner. So our opportunity is to make planners aware that they not only have an option, but they have a better option to make their life and the events elevated.
Yeah. Look, I think that's about enough for this one. It's been a really good video. It's great to have you on board on Event Advice.
I'm excited to be
I know we've got
here.
a couple more videos we're going to do, but it's been great to have you here. Guys, if you are watching for the first time, please subscribe. Please like it. We are building this community on YouTube and on other things. So please join us to join and watch more videos. And Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.